Oh, okay.
Okay, you're live.
Great. Good evening. This is a special meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Sleepy Hollow, called for the purpose of addressing a couple of resolutions. Let me first start by noting that this meeting is in compliance with the governor's executive order issued earlier this year, allowing us to meet via video conferencing, which is what we're doing tonight. This meeting has been noted and posted by the village clerk on the village website, on the village bulletin board, and with various news outlets. We have a quorum. I will call roll to establish that. Starting with Trustee Scaglione.
Here.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Here.
Trustee Gebler.
Here.
Trustee Levy.
Here.
And that establishes a quorum. Thank you. And we are joined by the council for the village administrator, the village assessor, and council for the Sleepy Hollow Local Development Corporation. Our agenda this evening will consider 3 resolutions, 2 related to the Local Development Corporation and the recent round of financing that we've been talking about over the last few weeks. And that is a refinancing of existing $10 million bond that the village is supporting through the LDC. That's being refinanced at a much lower rate. And we're also financing an additional $25 million to build out certain things on the East Parcel or the Village Common. And those include our new village DPW, infrastructure, road infrastructure, athletic fields, taking down the viaduct, and a number of other possibilities that we have to make that site work for the long term for the village. The reason for this meeting is that financing is almost complete, but one necessary piece of it is an amendment to existing lease that the village has with the LDC. The way the village pays for these financing mechanisms, the bonds that the LDC is floating, is through this lease arrangement. So we need to amend our lease to acknowledge the fact that we have this additional financing that's coming on. Later on this evening, the LDC will be meeting specifically at 7 o'clock tonight to complete that process, but we needed to do this first to make sure that they could go forward. And also, I just want to emphasize that the LDC is doing this at the village's request. They obviously, or maybe not so obviously to some folks, don't have any need for a DPW and in the other things that they are going to be building for us on the common site. So we have requested that they complete this financing for us so that this work can move forward. So it's a fairly exciting and momentous moment for us. So we have 2 resolutions before us that will complete that part of the financing as far as the village is concerned. And I would like to move forward with those. Could somebody in council, as always, when resolutions are a bit lengthy, is it necessary to read the entire resolution?
No, the bond resolution is here and it is lengthy, but you need read only the therefore be it resolved paragraphs. I did not get a resolution on the approval of the lease terms, but I can dictate one if you would like.
Okay, well, if we could take the bond resolution first.
It's on the approval of the lease terms is earlier on the agenda. And I do think it would make sense to approve them and then go into the bond. Since the bond is determined, the payments under the bond require this amended lease.
I've learned to listen to counsel. Certainly legal counsel. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir. And if someone would like to move to approve the amended and restated lease agreement as earlier circulated and on the dais tonight, and authorize the, who signs it? The mayor, I believe? Authorize the mayor or the, yes, the mayor signs it and authorize the mayor to sign it.
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
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 That appears to be unanimous. Mr. Smith, is it necessary for a roll call on this?
No, it is unanimous, and you called the roll originally, so there's no need to distinguish.
Thank you. All right, we have a second resolution. And as noted, if someone could just read the now therefore section.
So this is the amending the lease agreement, correct?
Yeah,
No.
It's a 42-page document.
Just a quick point of clarification. This is Justin Miller. The resolution to amend the lease was just adopted. We can share the full length. I believe it was in your agendas. The bond resolution itself is what the Local Development Corporation will take up for consideration at its meeting tonight at 7 p.m. The village's considerations are the amendment to the lease itself, with the rental payments sufficient to cover the bond and debt service that was circulated and shared previously as well. So with the approval that you just undertook, as far as I understand it, that's the only resolution associated with the LDC and the East Parcel DPW project. The LDC's bond resolution may have been shared for information purposes, but I don't believe that's necessary for your roll call in as much as it's an LDC resolution.
Thank you for that clarification.
Sure.
Okay, well, we do have another resolution that was circulated just today at the request of the village assessor, and it's pretty straightforward. The governor has issued an executive order that allows assessors to accept as an application for the tax relief that seniors get in municipalities around the state, to treat it as an application if they applied and were approved for the current year. And the assessor has brought it to our attention that something like maybe a half of the people that normally apply for the senior exemption in the village of Sleepy Hollow have not yet applied, and the deadline is the end of this month. So just a few days away. If we pass this resolution, what it does is allow the assessor to treat people who were given this exemption this year, or partial exemption this year, as if they had applied. It also protects us because it allows the assessor to also say, well, if there's any change in that household, there was a death, the property was sold, and so on, we're still protected, and the assessor can deny the application. So it's not an automatic or absolute pass along, but I think it's something that protects our seniors that have been had the benefit of this provision before, and it's something that I would urge the board to adopt. If we adopt this resolution, then the assessor can move forward in the way that I just described. And you have a resolution before you. If we could get that read, and then we can open up discussion. If necessary, the assessor is here for that purpose.
So we can just read the beginning and then the now therefore be it resolved for this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Governor's executive order continuing temporary suspension and modification of laws relating to the disaster emergency. For this resolution, senior and disability exemptions 467 and 459C of the real property tax law respectively. Now therefore be it resolved that the Village Board of the Village of Sleepy Hollow hereby adopts the portion of the Executive Order 202.83 of the Governor of the State of New York that permits the village to dispense with the need for renewal applications in regard to partial tax exemptions of persons with disabilities and limited income senior citizens that are already approved on the 2020 assessment roll as having such exemptions for the 2021 assessment roll, except in the case that there is a change of status that would no longer qualify the homeowner. Resolve that the village board is authorized to pass such resolution and that the assessor is instructed to take any such necessary actions in the above described directives. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
I think that was unanimous. Any nays or abstentions? Then it wasn't unanimous. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
On one of the resolutions, there is a provision, a paragraph about seeker, and it would be good to approve that. It says the corporation previously reviewed the East Parcel project pursuant to seeker. In connection with the foregoing seeker review, the corporation on April 24, 2017 made certain findings and determinations in accordance with seeker and 6 NYCRR Part 617.11. No further review is necessary for the East Parcel project for purposes of seeker. It would be good for the board to approve that as well.
So
Motion
moved.
to approve what Clinton just recited.
Seconded.
Seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? I believe that's unanimous as well. Thank you, Mr. Smith. I'm looking at Mr. Smith here. That I believe that completes our business for the evening. And it does. So thank you all. You may.
I just have a quick question with regards to a different topic. Edie, I sent you an email. If you can take a look at that. It was just, I was asking for some additional information on the tax revenue estimates for Ed.
If I may, I thank you, Sam, and I reached out and Edie and I've had a discussion. There's an update that will be on its way to you. Okay. And that is something that I look forward to discussing in executive session with the board, further discussing with the board.
Great, thank you. I figured I'd take the opportunity since you were on.
Just before I ask for a motion to adjourn, I know we all want to extend birthday wishes to Deputy Mayor Rosenblum. Today is his birthday. Happy birthday. Hope it's been a good day so far and hope it's a peaceful and pleasant one with your family this evening. From all of us to you. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting, please?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and good night.
Thank you.
Happy
Aye. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thanks, everyone.
Yes. Happy New Year.
Take care.